Hey everyone, this is Brett Whitefield from FTN Network and FTN Data. We are talking offensive line rankings, and coming in at number 5 on my list is the Kansas City Chiefs. Now look, that might be a shock to you. It's kind of a hypothetical, to be honest. They brought in a lot of pieces this offseason, which we'll get into. I think ultimately what happened was they took what happened in the Super Bowl personally. They went out, they cut both starting offensive tackles, and the rebuild began from there. Now, normally a team that rebuilds an offensive line completely would not be at the top of a rankings list, but they brought in a lot of really good players. So it's a huge, huge gamble, but one that I think is going to pay off. Let's start with what they did. So Orlando Brown, they traded a first-round pick for him. He's a very good player. He slots in at left tackle. They signed Joe Thuney to the deal of the century, the biggest interior offensive line deal ever. They brought in Austin Blythe over from the Rams. They brought Kyle Long out of retirement. They kept Mike Remmers. They drafted Creed Humphrey. They drafted Trey Smith. They've got like 9 guys on the offensive line now that can play. And this is why I really like what they did, because not only did they bring in some good players, some average players, they got 9 guys who can play. Early in the year, they'll be able to shuffle that line and make sure they're getting the best 5 on the field. I see it to be very unlikely they don't find some combination of those guys that is very effective. They also still have Lucas Niang, was a draft pick from a couple years ago, 3rd-round pick. He could slot in and play right tackle. We don't really know how it's going to shape up as far as the starters go, but what we do know is they should have plenty of competent pieces there to move around, and I think that bodes really well for them. I think it's a massive upgrade, and thus they come in at number 5 in my rankings. All right, listen, you guys can find me over on Twitter at BG Whitefield. You can find me on FTN Fantasy and follow along with the whole offseason ranking series where I'm breaking down every unit in the NFL, 1 through 32. You can find me on the FTN Datacast, which is a brand new show. Check our YouTube page for that. All right, see you later.